Christy Gotcha from the Meshoppen Cat Rescue, and we are doing our Northern Tier Business Service Team Employer Spotlight. Meshoppen Cat Rescue became a registered employer in CareerLink last year in 2022 and has worked with Treehab of Wyoming County and CareerLink since then. So Christy, can you tell us about Meshoppen Cat Rescue?
Oh gosh, how much time do we have?
As much time as you want.
Basically, as you can see, we have about 120 cats at our rescue here. There's about 42 in foster care because we just don't have the facility to take them all in. Most of these cats here will spend the rest of their life here. So that means we need people to take care of them. We try to take and help as many as we can, but again, we are limited on resources, people, because it's a 24/7 job, 7 days a week. You can't take time off for that, but basically we house them. They're all free-ranging. We don't cage them unless they're after their quarantine period when we intake, and if they're like, you know, not calm, scared, then we have cages on the outside to acclimate them a little bit because there are so many cats here. So it's just a day-to-day process: the food, water, cleaning, the litter box. We try to love them as much as we can. We encourage people, the public, to come in and spend time with them, and that's just basically it.
Well, you guys do a great job because you can tell the cats seem very happy, and it's, you know, for having 100 and some cats in here, it's very nice.
Well, we definitely try. It's, again, it is a lot of work, whether people don't realize that or not, because 5 minutes after you've cleaned something off, you know, with so many animals, they're just going to come right in and trash it. But they are very well adapted, I feel, for being free roaming.
Why do you like the work that you do here?
Oh, sometimes, I don't know, I can't explain it. I was always a dog person to begin with. Not that I just didn't grow up with cats. And I went to an event Meshoppen Cat Rescue had, and I don't know, once I got started with fostering, and basically I was educated on, I never really realized what a problem unwanted street cats were, and the spay, neuter, the way everything worked. I had no clue.
Right.
So once you see it, you can't unsee it. So it's like once you start, it's I don't know, it is a good feeling. I can't explain it. It's a lot of work, it's tiring, it's frustrating sometimes, and heartbreaking. I have to stress that you can't be in this business without the heartbreak too. Even though we are a no-kill shelter, the only time an animal here is ever put down is when it is vet recommended, medically, you know, where they can't be saved. So, but then there's a sense of satisfaction when you have one that's maybe a little spicy, for lack of a better word, and over time becomes loving, you know, and you know you've given that animal a chance. It is very satisfying, very rewarding.
It sounds like you make a big difference in their lives.
I'd like to think that we do.
So what skills does a person need to work here or volunteer? What type of skills does somebody need to be in a position like you are in, or these others are in?
I would say one of the first ones would have to be definitely patience. You have to have patience because it can be very frustrating. You need to be able to communicate, because some volunteers you won't see, but because in and out, basically we only have 5 that are actually come in every day, and then the others are one day here, one day there. So you have to be able to communicate with each other. If you see a cat that is not acting right, or maybe you noticed worms in their stool, or you need to be able to pass that information along. A little bit of common sense is nice, you know, again, because that all just flows through. And that's it. And just, you know, I don't know, skill-wise, I mean, you can always get better.
Right.
Perfect example, I've never administered medicine before, but I'd like to think I'm pretty good at it now.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of stuff can come in time, but communication, being able to work with other people, and you need to love animals. I mean, you have to be able to, you have to want to be here to do this. You really do.
When did the cat rescue open?
I'm going to say, we had talked about it, we will be in this building 5 years in July. But the old Doc Labatoski vet on Allen Street in Meshoppen is where Meshoppen Cat was originated. And I know for a fact that was in lease in 2009.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while. Yep.
Now, I think you already mentioned, but how many cats, again, do you have in
There's-
the rescue right now?
There's 120 on site here, and there's 40 or 42 in foster. And we don't like to have that many out, but again, the building is only so big, and I know a lot of times some people in the public get frustrated with us when they call us about a need. And when we tell them we're at max capacity and we can't, some of them don't take that very well, but I always try to tell myself not to take it personally, even though sometimes, you know, it does hurt us. It's like, do not ever think, we don't think about that phone
Right.
call after we've said we couldn't take them. It always weighs on our mind. But another thing that I have learned since doing this, there's a fine line even between rescue and hoarding.
Right.
Food, water, and a building does not make up what a cat needs here. You have to be able to have the resources to vet them, to make sure they can get to the vet, make sure they get the medicine they need, the food, the water, the attention. So in a perfect world, yes, we would love to, but if you don't have the resources or the people here to maintain it, we can only go by what we have.
That makes sense. It seems like that's, you know, what you have to do to be in the best interests of the cats as well. How many people work at the rescue or volunteer?
Nobody here works. Everybody here is a volunteer basis. We are a 501c3. There's no paid employee here unless we're working through the career link, and you know, that's separate. But there are 5 that come every day, 7 days a week. Christmas, I would say overall we would roughly.
Ooh. You okay?
Oh yeah, I was trying to get on camera there. Roughly about 16. Some will only come 1 day a week, off and on. Some won't even, you know, come every week. So it varies, but I would really love to see more than 5, you know,
Yeah.
to come and even be able to stretch our hours where we wouldn't be open to the public 24/7, but if we had more volunteers and staff, we could stagger hours too, you know, like for the right person, we would even accommodate people that, you know, like the 3rd shift or whatever to come in and just because there's always messes to clean up. In the morning, it's like, wow, what happened here? You know, but, 5 pretty much full-time, 7 days, unless, you know, doctor's appointments or vacation, and then roughly about 16 that flow in and out.
Okay. Now, if somebody did want to volunteer at the rescue, how would they go about doing so?
They could do it a number of ways. One, like Paula Fox, which her number is on the sign out there. They could call her. You can stop by anytime we're open and inquire. And even on Facebook, could send a message and
Okay.
we would get back to you.
Okay. And we'll list that information too at the end of this video so people can see if they're interested. What entry-level skills do you feel that you can teach when you do, say, a paid work experience or on-the-job training with the Career Link or just a volunteer?
Well, I would say either or, but like with the Career Link, especially, I'm assuming it's their first job,
Right.
and it helps them with time management, the responsibility of showing up on time for work, even as far as little things like making new friends, meeting people, learning how to communicate. A lot of this job skills here are repetitive. You know, very rarely something new and spontaneous will pop out at you, but you learn to make a schedule, a routine on how to work. Like, and we all have them. Like, when I come in, I just have certain things that I start and follow a protocol. So I think those are good. And again, you know, we like punctuality. You know, learning that if you're sick, you know, don't call 5 minutes before your shift. Try to call the night before so we can find a replacement. Just little things like that.
Okay, and what was your experience like when you did? So you just joined the Career Link last year. What was your experience like working with the Career Link in one of our paid work experiences?
It was good. And I found it interesting too. I never honestly didn't follow up on where she went after, but we enjoyed that and we look forward to that. It's a win-win for us.
Right.
Because then you have somebody that is helping the cats also, but they're also helping themselves too.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of nice. We all like win-win here.
Yeah, seems great. It's
Yep.
a different opportunity.
Well,
Which is
right,
great.
and even though there is a lot of responsibility here, more than what people think, oh, it's just cats. It's not. You know, there's cats here that are on timed medicine and stuff, so there is a responsibility, but it's not for their first job. It might be scary. It's a little bit more relaxed, so
Right.
it's like their nerves can come down, and we're a little bit more easygoing here, but it's easier, I think, to learn. So when they are into that first,
Yeah.
job, wherever it is they go, I'd like to hope that it's not so scary for them.
Yeah, and that's great because that's exactly what those kind of experiences are geared towards. So we really appreciate you working with us and taking part in that. So we talked about working and volunteering. Now, what about the adoption process? How does that work? How do people go about adopting a cat? What goes along with it?
It varies a little bit. For example, if we have kittens, whether they were either born here or we were able to, it depends on our intake. If they have not had any of their shots or anything like that, I'm getting ahead of myself with the pricing. We do have an application.
Okay.
It's not, like 3 pages long. It's short, sweet, and to the point. We want to know your vet, whether you own, your landlord, what other animals you have, things like that, and references. And then after we research that, if it works out, and you're approved, then it depends on what type of cat you're looking for. If it's one like I was explaining with the kittens, they're just a $45 process. Because nothing's been done with them. But if it's an older kitten after it's had all of its shots, then the price goes to, it's the initial $45, but then, and the cost of the shots. If you want extra testing with it, like feline leukemia and stuff, we'll add that onto it, and so on. If you've already want a kitten that's around the 4 months, and it's had all of its shots and it's spayed and neutered, then that price goes up. We only cover the spay and neuter. We never add anything like extra or like all the 5 months of food and all that. We just need to recoup regroup what we put in to fix the next cat.
Right.
Or, we would never be able to continue. So it does vary. I think the highest I can ever remember an adoption, I want to say it was like 175, and that had everything: spayed, neutered, the shots, feline leukemia. It also had, which tested negative, had a booster for that. So that's basically how that works.
Okay, and you mentioned that you have cats that are fostered. How does that process work?
Well, we have a couple fosters, which I am one of them, and after we check again, that is fostering is also again like the application process, but unless if you're a stranger like anybody who volunteers here at the rescue, we do like to see where the cats are going to be, and if that works out, depending on how many the foster's willing at one time to take, whether it's just one or two. When we have an overflow, they do them. That's always a catch-22. You have to be careful because the foster, only wants like so much time, like a couple months, and you have to be able to transition the cat into the rescue after. You can't put that burden on your foster.
Okay.
So that's how that works. So I mean, oh God, if we had like 20 fosters, that would be awesome. But then you have, unless they're willing to foster them until there's room here, we have to be very careful because we have to be able to bring them into the rescue. What we try to do is for every adoption, we grab a foster and bring it in and to replace. So very rarely is this number of cats that we have here is low. There's always a cat ready to take its place once one is adopted.
Do you take donations at the rescue? And if people want to donate, how would they go about getting donations here?
Yes, donations is the only thing that keeps Meshoppen Cat Rescue here. Again, being a 501c3, that in our fundraising, we try to have fundraisers as much as we can. The donation process is a lot like the adoption and volunteer process. There is our Facebook account, there is PayPal. So if it's monetary and you're going that way, you can PayPal it. We also have a mailing address that if you wanted to send a check, money order, or however, you can send it through mail or actually stop by and drop it off. Any donations like food, litter, same thing. It would be if you we have some people that will send right from Amazon, Walmart, and it'll be shipped here. So it'll come through the mail that way, or they personally drop it off. And there is a box out here that if it's after hours, you can lift the lid and put in the box. We check that every morning.
Well, this is all really great. You guys are doing really great things here.
We try.
Yeah, you can tell how hard you try. And once again, we appreciate you being willing to work with us in the Career Link as well. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Not that I can think of. I mean, again, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff I'm forgetting. Just little things. Paula also has brownies coming in, and I want to say the Girl Scouts too. To try because again, just awareness. And even if that one little spark in that young person that says, oh, maybe I want to be a vet or I want to start volunteering, we always hope we look for that because the ones, us ladies here, we're getting up there in age.
Yeah.
And we really do, sometimes it's scary to think about it, but you need to have the young to come in, to replace the old going out. So that's always on our mind, that we keep hoping, through either volunteering or somebody will come in and be willing to replace us when we can no longer do it. Because I would love to see this go on until there's no need for it.
Right.
So please, people, stay neuter.
Yes, and if you get the chance, Can't recommend enough coming to visit. Hopefully leave with a cat. Donate if you can. Spread the word. It's a great place here. The cats are loving. The people are great. It's fun to be here. So we can't recommend enough adopting, volunteering, donating for Meshoppen Cat Rescue. And thank you again for doing this spotlight.
Well,
and
thank you.
Working with us and taking part. Who is this?
Oh, here we go. Again, on 120, now I'm going to sound like a bad cat mom. Callie?
Callie.
Oh, and yeah, it's
Ooh.
very, she's playful. She's not mean. She just wants to play.
She wants the spotlight.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Callie.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get on camera there. Roughly about